My name is Charles Anyasi, the third JP, the Obi of Idumuje Kingdom. I was born in this place, bred in this place, my education, enough to keep it going. I have a creative background as an artist, also as a journalist, and I featured in Nigerian media in the late 70s and the mid 80s. I also have had a stint in marketing as an advertising practitioner. I rose to power as a king by virtue of my childhood, by birth. You rise to power by heredity. That means that you being the first son of your father. So I happen to be the king of the kingdom by virtue of being the first surviving son of my father. So that's how I came to power. In the days of yore, a king dies, a slave will go with him. And that's in those days. It doesn't happen this time. Particularly in my place, I know we don't do such things anymore. It is my duty to enlighten them. We better get out of all that kind of very, very backward aspect of life. There are places where that occur. We have such issues here in the past. It's not as prevalent at the moment. In the past, able to train a child, the girl child, was difficult because they felt that it was a useless venture, but it doesn't hold sway at this moment. In this place, the woman can buy a property, but in terms of inheritance, the traditional culture still holds that inheritance is by males. When the male inherits, he now has the choice of giving out to the rest of the members of the family, and women can also partake. But I tell you, in that kingdom, we are not just suppressing women. They can aspire to whatever they want to aspire to. There's things and all that. Whether you're a male or a female, I don't consider anybody an underdog. We're all created by God, we have equal potentials. So I think that all genders should have whatever opportunity that's available to them to explore their potential. Well, women are as important as men, as far as I'm concerned. I have female children who are doing very well in their respective spheres of influence. So when the government is talking about whatever percentage of affirmative action, whatever their voice are, let them achieve it so that the women will feel a sense of belonging. I will not subscribe to a situation where you begin to match on any woman because of the gender, because times have changed, and if we've had the likes of Dora Kunele, Rasim Kuti, and all those people who impacted us positively, we should do more. We had Wara doing very well. Many of them are doing very well now, so we should encourage them to come forth. It should even get to a point where a woman can aspire to be the president of this country. There's nothing wrong with it, because women, when they go out, they are achievers. That's a very interesting question. When I came in, there was a lot of crisis over the issue of desired change. I had not even begun the change when the crisis began, because they contemplated that the man coming in had something that was strange, just like I told you the story of the Kumeku warriors. They were apprehensive of the white man. So before I came, I was already not just a Christian, I was already born, I was a minister of God, and they knew I was coming, that I was coming with some change. But I didn't just start the change when I came in. It began way back in 2004, when I had my encounter with the Holy Spirit. I recall that in 1980, December/January of 1981, I came to this kingdom and questioned all the elders, beginning with my father, who was a king then, all the chiefs, all the old men, and the people of little character, the dance young people, about the origin of this kingdom and development and everything about it. And I gathered a lot of information and kept them there because I intended to do some book out of it. Not until 2004 June, when I woke up in the midnight with an experience. I was instructed to go back to those documentation that I had to see an aspect that needed urgent attention. Because in questioning my people, virtually every of them told me a story about the Kumeko. That's why I got interested and began to do research about the Kumeko. And I also had to do a special interview with those who founded the Towns Union. That Towns Union was begun in Zaria in 1936. And those who began the union, I sought to know the meaning of the greeting for the union, which used to be Onya Zona Kanibu and Aganibu. And they told me the story of the Kumeku and told me that like I said, the headquarters of the Kumeku used to be in this kingdom. And they had a greeting that they used to greet. The old men had to rely on a town crier who would, the flutist, who would blow his flute and alert all the warriors to get ready for battle. And the flutist would say, Ekumeku unyazana kaiku. The response would be Anyaganibu. What that meant was that they shouldn't forget what they agreed. That the agreement within the Ekumeku was that any white man sin should be murdered. Any black man sin with the Bible should be destroyed. And so that was the origin of that greeting. And when they formed the Immediate Patriotic Union in Zaria in 1936, they met a couple of times and discovered they had no greeting. And then they decided to adopt the greeting of the Ekumeku, which is Onya Zana Kaiku, and that has been a greeting. So that night that I woke up, the Lord asked me to go ask them. Are they still reminding the Lord that they were in enmity with him? The Lord said to me, go ask your people whether they're still in enmity, that it is time for them to change. Well, at that time, I found it difficult because I knew my relationship with them at that moment. It wasn't that smooth, but I took up the gauntlet, went to the meeting the following day, and then sought to know from the elders if they knew the meaning of the greeting. And incidentally, nobody knew. And I told them my experience that God said I should remind you that each time you read that greeting, you're reminding him that you are your enemies with him. So then I asked, what would you want us to do? I said, okay, tell the headquarters of the union that this is a discovery I made, that they should find a way of changing that greeting. That was in 2004. It took a couple of months, up to even a year. It was the following year, in June 2005, that they held a general conference, and it was a major issue debated. At the end of the whole debate, they agreed that it was time to change that greeting. They now asked me, since you are the initiator, what would you have us to greet? And I said, okay, now you're ready. What you should greet is Idumuje Organihu Chineke Kama. That is progress for this kingdom. Like the progress of God is better. And they unanimously agreed to have it. So that was the beginning of change for the things to come. And so when I came in and I was asked to do the fixtures for the annual festival, I had at the back of my mind that this festival had to change if I had to be involved. They said no, it will not change. But eventually we were able to agree that that greeting, Organihu, should be reflected. Let it replace the Obaniwe. Now, I have to let you know the meaning of Obaniwe. Obaniwe is a war dance demonstrating our prowess in battles in the days of yore. And at that festival, all manner of things that are negative are done. Obaniwe actually means smearing with mud. That is, you find somebody who is well dressed, you smear that person with mud, and then you can be as vulgar as can be without being questioned. You will accept it because that was their norm. And so I have come to let the people know that there's a basic difference between tradition and culture. Because they were arguing that it is our tradition we must continue. And I said, no. Culture is, like I said, dynamic, it is living, it's organic. But tradition is a bit inorganic. It is stable. You can't move it. Well, it got to a head. I asked them to define how it was, from the beginning. They were unable to. I said, okay, there are certain things I want you to revive. If you revive them, it's easy for me to flow with you. For instance, my father changed a number of things. And by the time I came, those things were not in place. And you asked me to do things as they were, even before my father. I said, that's impossible. Well, that's history, because we've come to acknowledge that there's change. And today, what we do is Organihu Festival. Organihu comes once every year. And in the traditional pattern of Organihu, you dress up in rags, smear yourself with any kind of mocha. You put on chalk, put on blue, put on black, and appear like apes. And you're dancing, and the wives will come and be photographing you, and they go to show it in their place, and you're proud. No, that's not for me. So I said, well, let's move with the trend, because culture is what appeals to people at a given point in time. It pleases them, and it does them good. That is culture. Tradition is one that will set you back. So today I'm happy to announce that what we do is a Organihu Festival. We started about 3 years ago, and everybody is happy. When we do it, we appear in beautiful apparels. And I've told them that, yes, even though I don't want to go to the pattern of appeasing the God, the Ifejoko land, Ifejoko God in the land, no. We appease the God in heaven, because He's one that gives us the yam. He's one that gives us all our habits. So we come out resplendent in our colors, dance joyfully, and then glorify God. That's about what we do now. Well, Ikumeku happens to be a byproduct of the influence of the Royal Niger Company on this part of Nigeria. You know that when we were colonized by the British, and in the colonialism, when, for instance, they saw how we were, a lot of potentials economically, they decided to come. They came with 2 instruments. They came with the power of salvation and then industry, economic industry. So they came to affect the people both religiously and economically. But when they came to a portion of Nigeria, that is the Anioma side, when they came with the policy of assimilation to ensure that as they were trading with us, they were educating us in terms of what to know in the English culture and then religion. But our people resisted. They refused the intercourse of the British and decided that they would hold on to their own. That resulted in a kind of struggle. It was armed struggle between the natives and the British administration. How was the battle fought? That was how Ikumeku was founded. Now, Ikumeku happens to be the formation of young men, young natives who decided to use what was at their own disposal to fight the incursion of the British. What was it at their disposal? Voodoo, everything native, courtesan. They imbibed all this, they put all this together and began to fight the English man. And it got to a head that they deployed what they call the lycanthropy. Lycanthropy is the ability of man to transform into a beast. And so they transform into beasts, wolves, lions, leopards, whatever, to attack the whites. It was a very deadly battle. And then at some point in time, this kingdom happened to be the headquarters of Ikumeku. Ikumeku, like I told you, is young men decidedly fighting off the Western religion. And so they fought that battle. The Royal Niger Company came into the land around the 1870, and then by the early 1900s, the battle was on. And the battle ended in 1904 at the expense of us here, because we lacked all the technology to fight back the Western world. Now, the thing to see about it is that those who fought off the white men, if you ask my opinion, you wouldn't blame them. They were resisting in accordance with the knowledge that was exposed to them. They saw the Christian religion as something strange to them, and they decided to fight it off. And then fighting off the Christian religion, whether they offended God or not, is another issue. And so the point is that the Umeku came as a byproduct of the interjection of Western education, Christian religion, and then the trade that should have bolstered our position was rejected, because it's like dangling a carrot to them for something deadly to them. That's the way we perceived it. Our forefathers perceived that. So that's about the Ekumeku. And the Ekumeku affected us negatively, because at the end of the battle, we were the ones that have suffered. We suffered a lot of casualties, because at the initial stage, the Ekumeku warriors had an upper hand with the electronic and other instruments they were using against the British. But they now deployed conventional warfare to douse the tension. The difference within us, that's the core Igbo and us here, is in language deflections. You have different dialects from the original Igbo. The Igbo person could sell me, so to speak, with his language, because it is deeper than the one from Anambra. The Anambra person I can understand easily. We have almost a similar structure. And that's where you talked about my book. That book focuses on Anioma land. Part of the Igbo land, you have a lot of them who also belong to the Anioma land. If you talk about names, if you go critically into the book I've written, I traced the emergence of the Igbo land from the Gad tribe of Israel. I did a lot of research to see that it hailed from that place. And the name Igbo originally hailed from Hebrew. They called Igbo, that's from Hebrew. From Hebrew to Hebrew, from Hebrew to Igbo. And the original Igbo people call it Igbo. You see that some people also quarrel about the name Igbo or Igbo. Which one do they believe? Igbo is the original name emerging from Igbo. It's not everybody within the Delta region that could say he's an Igbo person, but a large percentage of the people within the, what we could call the Western Igbo, hail from that sector, that's the Igbo land. There are people who hail from other places, Igala, Edo, and so on and so forth, but a large percentage hail from Igbo, even though some people want to get towards Edo and other places. In this kingdom, for instance, in the Middle Kingdom, for instance, I know that my own particular family hail from Igbo land. We have our roots to Umuri land, and that can be authenticated by the culture of the people. Most of the things we do here are as reflected from the Umuri land. Every year at this point in time, that's between August, September, October, the people would like to mark what they call the New Year Festival. The New Year Festival emanated from the land. That's the history as far as we know it. And so Apple also took it from there. Every year at this point in time, we want to celebrate the Yam Festival. You don't do that in Edo land. You have never heard that the Edo man is celebrating a Yam Festival. So as many people are celebrating that, have their roots going back to Ori. And I had to make it also known to as many as you don't know that we have a fundamental link with the Ori people. And it happens to be the basic foundation of the Igbo land. I know where I come from, and I know that the cultures we promote here, part of it, and a good number of it is from that place. Yeah, there are, and I would like to tell you how it all began. What you call the Anioma history, there was a migration from Edo land. I'll call it an inverse migration, because originally I told you about the race. The history we have is that some people who were in those people called the DBS, the medicine people of old, they used to have their own intercourse of journeys in which they traded their medicine. They had journeys to different places, and some of them traveled to the Edo Kingdom and found place at the royal palace. And they dwelled there for quite some time until problem developed in the palace between the palace and the Igbo settlers there. And the Igbos got wind of the fact that they were going to be executed and took off. And where would they go to? It has to be a reverse to where they came from. And so as they were dispersing, they began to establish different kingdoms. And those kingdoms which now later became known as the Anioma race. It became a nationality. So now the point is that if you have dwelt in a place for quite some season, you'll imbibe some of their cultures, like their language, their names, and certain activities on the go. That's why you find some names interjecting in our own names here. So when I say I came from Obi, it's not a general thing, but a large majority of those who abide with the culture of this annual festival of yam celebration cannot say they came from Edo land, because that means they're taking the culture of people you don't know. It is the culture of people you know that you imbibe. Well, as at the time I wrote this book, I happened to be the coordinator for Anioma Foundation worldwide, and I was clamoring on that platform. That platform, we had it upstage that the number one thing we were clamoring for was the creation of the 37th state for the Federation. That is Anioma. If you ask me, my position has not changed because it's a governmental right. We ought to expand. By the time you get more states, if you have a state given to us, government gets closer to us. So, but I won't tell you now that much is being done, but I know that there's some kind of pressure underneath. That if ever it's going to be another state created, I wish and I hope that Anioma will be one of the first to be considered, because we have all the potential, we have politics, we have the population, we have the geography, everything, the economy is right. So we are qualified to have our own state. My word then is that we should look inwards to develop the land. These urban flights could be good in some respect, but then it should be to the extent of neglecting our land. A lot of people who have go without to develop the land are investing outside, and because they're investing outside, they hate coming onto this place to have anything to do with the land. My appeal to them is to view this place as the first point of investment, because it is people who develop the lands they are investing in. If you abandon your own land and investing in London, you're investing in Lagos, in Abuja, in Russia, well, that is good, but this is the bedrock of your foundation. So they must come back to develop the land, and everybody should be patriotic about that. So that's my word for them.